What is up, beautiful people? Let's wait for the tribe to show up. As I finish my breakfast. What's up? Grand Rising. Good morning. How's everybody doing? We're going to be talking about the new moon in Cancer. Happy new moon. Hope you guys are all feeling it. Many of you are probably still in bed chilling. The new moon in Cancer is like, oh, I just want to be at home underneath the covers. I just want to sit there and watch Netflix. I just want to like hang out with my family. Thank you. We definitely, with the new moon, the new moon is dark too, so our energy's feeling maybe a little low, you know? The moon doesn't have any light. We're feeling like we just want to be to ourselves and be private and be at home and things like this. So we have our new moon, had our new moon. It was this morning at 3:31 a.m. Pacific time. The moon has already moved past the sun. But this is such a beautiful, expansive new moon. I'm so excited. Everybody here, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to dive in to this new moon. Let me actually go ahead and pull it up on my screen so I have it. I'm excited to dive into this new moon because this new moon is really symbolic of what Jupiter in Cancer is going to mean for us collectively. Okay. Someone said, is there Mercury-ish going on? Mercury's squaring Chiron. Mercury's in Cancer, about to move into Leo. Um, all right, let's see. What year are we in? What year is it? Sometimes like I feel like when if for those of you that are self-employed, do you like lose track of the time and the dates and things the way I do? Like sometimes I'll be like, what day is it? Because I don't have like a hard fixed schedule, you know? So I feel like time for me is just like this effervescent thing that just I have this very loose relationship with. Oh my goodness. I feel like time is not of the essence for me. Time is just this like thing that what day is it? What year are we in? Pisces things. Thank you for being here, everybody. So like I was saying, I'm just finishing my breakfast. And you're bouncing back between dates and years all the time. Yeah, especially as an astrologer, like I'm in the future. I'm in the past. I'm in the present. Then I'm back to the past. And then back to the future. Like, even when I do readings, I'll like start, moving ahead in people's timeline. I'm like, okay, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the present. Because like all of a sudden I'm talking about 3 years from now or 5 years from now. And it's like, wait, Louis, slow down. Buenos dias, so fam. Yeah. So, all right, cool. All right, let's talk about this new moon in Cancer. So, why is this new moon so important? Well, because for a few things, okay? And I want you to really think about this for those of you that are, you're getting into astrology and you're starting to flirt with it a little bit. You're starting to understand things like the houses and stuff like this. Um, I want you to understand that this new moon in Cancer for everybody collectively, okay, is opening up a doorway. Of course, my mom would call. Of course, as I'm talking about the new moon in Cancer, my mom would give me a call. Because Cancer is what? The mother, right? Can you guys still hear me? Are we still good? Is the audio okay? I'm like talking about it, and my mom calls. And you know what's so funny? Let me tell you what's even funnier about it is I believe Uranus is on the rising right now. Because Cancer is your mom, you know? So what is Cancer? That was my mom. Um, and Uranus, an unexpected phone call. Oh my goodness. She didn't know though. I didn't tell her that I would be live. She knows that I go live on Mondays. Let's see where the rising is at. And then she'll text me, "You don't love me anymore. You never answer my phone calls." Oh, the rising's at 22 degrees. Oh yeah, it's squaring my Venus. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's squaring my Venus. And Venus is opposing my Venus right now. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, my mom called me. My mama called me. Anyways, let's talk about Cancer a little bit. And then we'll kind of I'll go back to what I was talking about. So actually, let me finish that thought, okay? We're working on continuity here and completion, finishing things that we start, okay? So for those of you that are getting into astrology, like I was saying before my mom called, is you want to take a look at your Cancer house, whatever house, or if you do, if you have if you look at your chart in Placidus, I look at it in whole sign. So whole sign, the whole sign house system assigns one house to one sign. So it makes it very simple, very easy. But if you're looking at you have a chart in Placidus, the sign of Cancer could be occupying two or three houses, okay? Or it could be intercepted. It could, the sign of Cancer could start in the middle of your second house or third house, right? But anyways, you want to take a look at your Cancer house because this new moon in Cancer is opening up a doorway. It's initiating something. It's planting something. It's energizing something. It's bringing light. It wants to bring expansion. It wants to bring growth. It wants to bring new opportunity. It wants to bring luck or even ease, grace, right? Many times we don't notice Venus or Jupiter transits, okay? Because sometimes Venus and Jupiter just makes that thing a little bit easier. It makes that area of your life easier. Or if you're experiencing problems around that area of your life ruled by your Cancer house with this new moon, right? It's like that area of your life may get that those problems may be solved. They may resolve, right? Something is going to get easier around that Cancer house with this new moon, okay? So, right, one of the things I want you to pay attention to with this new moon in Cancer is how is Jupiter being conjunct this new moon, right? Jupiter just went into Cancer. He's going to be there for a year. He's going to be there until June of next year, June, July of next year. Is it maybe May? I have to take a look at that, but he's going to be there for 12 months, okay? So, you want to take a look at what in your Cancer house is trying to expand, what's trying to grow. And sometimes it's not even about you. Sometimes it's about the other people involved in your Cancer, in that house that's ruled by Cancer, right? So if you have, like, let's say you have Cancer in the fifth house and you have children, your children have been going through things. Well, Jupiter going to the fifth house can be things with your children getting easier, your relationship with your children getting deeper, right? One of your children, if you have children that are older, getting married or having a baby or them getting a new job or something. Sometimes your astrology is not just about you. And I think that's one of the things that you have to really understand for those of you that want to go deeper into astrology, you want to learn astrology and you want to kind of see how it's actually manifesting in your life or manifesting in the lives of those around you. You have to understand that it's not just about you. It's also about the people around you and the people in your life. Sometimes the energy is not going to manifest in your experience. It's going to be your mother. It's going to be your friend. It's going to be your father. It's going to be your kids. It's going to be a coworker. It's going to externalize itself. Right? So, like third house, if you have Cancer in the third house, it's your siblings, it's your aunts, your uncles, something like that. So it's like really understanding the houses and really understanding how it's the internal process of the astrology or experience of it, but also the external. Very, very important. Okay. So going back to what I was saying, this new moon in Cancer, right? Oh, my princess is 33 weeks with her first baby. She's a Cancer rising. I have a Cancer. Yeah, see, there you go, right? Like she's having a baby. Jupiter. It's so appropriate. A lot of women are going to be having babies, getting pregnant during Jupiter in Cancer, by the way, especially water signs and earth signs. If you are like a Pisces or a Taurus or a Scorpio or a Capricorn woman, okay, getting pregnant. Oh my goodness. They're going to see a lot of water earth sign people getting pregnant with the Jupiter and Cancer. But anyways, um, taking a look at that Cancer house, right? And understanding that this new moon in Cancer is the opening doorway. Cancer in my fifth house. I just got my daughter a surprise puppy. Oh, both have Cancer in the sixth house of pets. See, yes, look at mom giving them a gift. Because what is Cancer about, right? And what is Jupiter's exaltation in Cancer? You get love, you get blessings unconditionally. Your mother, for some of us, not all of us, okay? Your mother loves you unconditionally, right? There's like this unconditional love, this unconditional loyalty, this commitment to our family, to our ancestry, right? To our foundations. Like there's like this Cancer energy. It's like it's loyal to the family, and it's like we give love freely, and that's one of the things that's why Jupiter, right, the planet of expansion and growth and blessings and benevolence and free things. But Jupiter gives things for free, gifts, blessings. Here, you want this? Here, you could have it. No strings attached, right? That's what Jupiter is about. In his exaltation in Cancer, it's like we expect our family and our mother to just give us things. And a lot of us, with those of us that have had a healthy experience, or we have a strong moon, or we have a really strong fourth house, which is connected to the sign of Cancer, right? It's like your parents, your family, like, here you go. You want this? You want that? Here you go. Here you go. You want this? You want that? Here. Oh yeah, I'll pay for you to go to college. Oh yeah, I'll buy you your first car. Oh yeah, here's a little mother. Here's a little puppy. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, here, like you're well fed, you're well clothed, your house, and you get it all for free. For free. All they expect you to do is what? Be loyal to them, love them, care for them, right? Like be a good child, right? Their role is to be a good parent, your role is to be a good child. Like that's what Cancer is about, right? And so with this new moon in Cancer, it's kind of like being conjunct Jupiter, an exalted Jupiter, and the moon being in her domicile. We got to remember this new moon, right? The moon rules the sign of Cancer. So this is the one new moon. Sometimes we get two new moons a year, okay, in Cancer, but this year we're getting one. This is the one, well, actually, she's exalted in Taurus as well, but this is the one, new moon that she rules, that she has full control over. This is the new moon where the moon gets to tell the sun what to do. Because why? The sun is in the sign of Cancer, responding to the moon. So this new moon, right, with Jupiter exalted, with the moon in her domicile, there's something that's so nourishing and so sweet and so, abundant and so fertile about this new moon. And we really want to go ahead and set some intentions. We want to plant some new seeds, especially around Cancerian things. If you want to have a baby, you want to get pregnant, you want to start a business, you want to manifest a home, you want to manifest some real estate, you want to manifest purchasing a property or moving, you want to, get in more alignment with your creativity, you want to write music, you want to write poetry, you want to, launch an album or write an album or something, right? Like, this is the new moon to really sit with yourself and to manifest and to journal and to vision board and to really work with the moon and work with Jupiter on bringing blessings, abundance, creation, fertility into your life and bringing some kind of expansion and growth. And, Jupiter's opportunity is like, in order for you to expand and grow, you have to take a risk and you have to believe and you have to have faith. And this is why most people, I'm going to say most, I should say many, but I'm going to say most because I'm a firm believer that it's most. Most people don't really get what they want because they're not willing to reach for more and expand and make a change, right? And this is one of the things I talk about is like many times, spirit, the divine, the planets are going to give you the list of things that you got to do in order to like achieve, in order to receive, in order to create abundance in your life, or in order to create some kind of like shift, right? Sometimes they're going to tell you to let go of something. Sometimes they're going to tell you you got to learn something new. Sometimes they're going to tell you you got to relocate and move in order for that new opportunity, that abundance, that blessing, that new life, that new vision, that thing to come in. And many of us, because we're so attached and we're so averse to taking risks and we're so doubtful and pessimistic and we let fear dictate our life, we don't really receive the blessings and the abundance that the benefics want to give us, Venus and Jupiter, right? It's like they want us to have love. They want us to be happy. They want us to be fulfilled. They want us to be abundant. They want us to be able to have enough resources to travel and explore, right? But that takes work. Creating a life like that, it's going to take work. It's going to take you expanding your consciousness and you developing trust in the divine and you overcoming your fears and you kind of expanding and growing outside of your own personal limitations, right? And this, we're going to really feel it with this new moon. I'm glad I said the word limitation because this new moon, even though we have Sun, Moon, Jupiter, all together, beautiful, they're squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries, right? There's a square to Saturn in Aries. And Saturn is like, if you want it, you got to work hard for it. If you want it, you got to be patient. If you want it, you got to build it from the ground up. So it's like, that square to Saturn that this new moon is making, it's like there's some kind of delays or there's some kind of setbacks, or we have to push through something, or we got to work hard for something in order to see it like truly manifest and grow. And I just want you guys to consider that. And also, you may actually experience this quite literally with something from your Aries house, squaring your Cancer house. So Saturn is in your Aries house now, as of a few weeks ago, right? Saturn has moved into your Aries house. So what you may experience is the square between your Aries house and your Cancer house is like you want to do something new and plant new seeds and expand and grow with your Cancer house, but there's something about your Aries house that's like holding you back. That like you have work to do around, that you have some kind of responsibility or obligation or something around the Aries house that's delaying it, right? And it's interesting because I was thinking about this with me because I have Cancer in the fifth house and I have Saturn in the second house now in Aries. And it's like that conflict between, the fifth, the second, and the eighth. A lot of times you want to be an entrepreneur, fifth house. You want to expand and grow, fifth house. You want to do something fun and creative, fifth house. But then you can't afford it, Saturn in the second, right? But then you don't have the resources. You don't have the foundation for it, right? Saturn in the second. Or you want to do something fun and expansive, but you got to make money, Saturn in the second, right? So it's really interesting. I want you guys to kind of use your own chart and kind of study it a little bit, research the houses. You have that research your Aries house and your Cancer house and what those houses mean, and kind of see, just take a gander at how, in some way, possibly your Aries house can be delaying, or it could be you have some kind of obligation, responsibility, or you have some kind of struggle around your Aries house that's not really fully allowing your Cancer house to expand and grow quite yet. Okay, with this new moon squaring Saturn, because there's something about our Aries house that's going to be tested, that is getting tested. There's some kind of maybe deprivation or lack, or there's some kind of patient. We got to be patient. We got to wait for it. There's something around that Saturn square to the new moon that we need to pay attention to, right? It may be a timing thing. Okay, we want to go ahead and launch and move, and we want to expand and grow. We want to have a baby. Cancer, right? New moon in Cancer, but the money isn't right yet. But we're not really in a living situation that makes sense yet. We're still living with the in-laws. We're still living in a one-bedroom apartment, and it just doesn't make sense. It's not the right time, right? So it's definitely something to think about. Okay. Someone said, would this be the best time for me to change lifestyle habits and impact my self-esteem so that I can gain confidence in general that I know where that are impacting my dreams? Yeah, you should have been done that. Okay. You should have been had done that. It's you. I think this is a beautiful time to change some kind of habits and behaviors. We're gonna have a Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is also great for that. So we have a Mercury retrograde coming up later this month or later this season. Um, Um, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, but Mercury retrograde is a great time for breaking habits. Um, I'll be going on a live stream later for a new app launching July 5th called Clean Circle for people wanting support from substance abuse. Oh, I love that. I'll be joining the app as a recovery coach. Oh, Aries in the third house. Oh, I love that for you. I love that you're doing that, Jay. Oh, that warms my heart. I love that for you. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the moon. I want to. Okay. I'm actually glad that you brought up the moon. That you brought up habits. Okay. One of the things that we don't really associate with the moon, but they do in Vedic astrology, is our habits. And they're the habits that are so ingrained, that are automatic, And they're the habits that we do unconsciously. There are emotional habits. That's what the moon is about. The moon is about our emotional habits, our unconscious habits. Like when you're not really paying attention to what you're doing and you just like start doing something, you're like, oh my God, why am I doing that? That's the moon at work, right? And the moon also speaks to the habits that we do out of comfort, out of security, or when we're stressed and anxious, Mercury, we go and self-soothe in some type of way. The habits that are self-soothing, the habits that make us feel safe or comfortable, the habits that kind of make us feel nourished or that we do out of emotional response, right? So there's habits that we do out of anxious response or nervous system response, which is Mercury. And then there's habits that we do out of emotional response when we're sad, when we're depressed, right? When we are experiencing the emotion of fear, right? Then we do those habits, right? So, and it could be anything. It could be watching TV, it could be eating, it could be shopping, it could be substances, right? Drinking, smoking, whatever, right? But the moon and Mercury are very closely connected to our habits. And so with the new moon in Cancer, and with Jupiter and Moon and the Sun together, right? This is a beautiful time to set new foundations and be disciplined because there's a square to Saturn happening with this new moon, right? Around your habits and around your behaviors, especially the ones that are emotional in nature. The ones that you know that you feel guilty about, that you feel bad about, or that you do those habits when you're not feeling good and you're reaching for comfort, you're reaching for security, right? Just because it may make you feel good in the moment doesn't mean it's healthy or sustainable. You see? And sometimes we have these emotional habits and we reach to things to self soothe emotionally that are actually not good for us. You know, and I just want you to consider that with this new moon because I do think this new moon is about shifting our emotional patterning, our emotional habits, changing the stories or the narratives that we tell ourselves about our emotions. Oh, I'm always sad. Oh, I'm a depressed person. Oh, nothing ever happens to me. Like we got to get away from that kind of like hypersensitivity, hyper emotionality, apologizing for things you shouldn't be apologizing for, being too emotionally reactive to things, being too sensitive, being too soft. Like we need masculine energy too. We got to be strong. We got to be resilient. Oh, you got to be a warrior as well. Right? Yes, it's beautiful to be in the divine feminine, and this new moon is calling us to nourish ourselves and to go soft and to, mother ourselves and to go back to the things that are comfortable and secure, and that's beautiful and that's fine. But also, those things can be very limiting. Those things can be very stifling, and those things could also be very toxic or very unhealthy, right? We can have codependency, which I think is a very strong Cancerian thing. I think codependency is something that Cancers love to do. I think it has a lot to do because why? Think about it, right? When you're a child, you're codependent on your mother or your family. When you are a baby, when you're a child, you are totally 100% dependent on your caretakers, which is what Cancer rules, right? You need them to feed you, you need them to bathe you, you need them to provide you shelter. You are a vulnerable little precious little, rosy cheeked little baby, but there's no protection. Your only protection that you have is your family, is your mother, is your father, is your caretakers when you're a child, right? And so when we're talking about dependency, codependency even, that's definitely a feature, kind of like a requirement of the sign of Cancer. But sometimes, right, we become codependent on things that stifle our growth. And I think about this a lot with people that become codependent on their parents or their mother and their father, and they get into the adult years, right? They're in the adult years and they're afraid to leave home, you know? The mother and the father doesn't let them grow up and become an adult and become autonomous. They never fully separate themselves from their family in some type of way. Welcome, my love. How are you? Right? So we also got to think about what are we codependent on and how do we need to kind of cultivate a little bit of autonomy and personal responsibility and kind of separate ourselves from the things that we excessively find comfort in or the things that we find comfort in that are unhealthy, that inhibit our growth, that do not keep us in alignment, right? with things. So I think we got to think about that with the new moon squaring Saturn as well, because Saturn is expecting us to be kind of autonomous, to be kind of like strong and to be very independent in some type of way, you know? So I just want you guys to consider that. All right. But yeah, okay. So, new moon in Cancer, right? Setting new foundations for our creative endeavors, for setting new intentions for like moving, relocating, setting intentions for, some kind of something new that we want to birth into our life. Conjunct Jupiter, we may need to take a risk. We may need to take a chance. We may need to take a leap of faith. We need to cultivate more belief, more optimism, more joy in our life, right? Also, with this new moon, there's kind of an invitation to really ask yourself, are you able to receive? Are you able to ask for help? Are you able to ask for support when you need it? Are you able to understand that you can't do it all yourself? You need family in some type of way. Whether that's a family of friends, whether that's a family, whether it's your own personal family, whether it's your children that you rely on, whether it's your school family, your work family, whatever. We need other people. We thrive in community, right? We need to be active participants in the families that we like flow in. You know what I mean? And like Cancer, the abundance of Cancer, it's about this openness when it comes to giving and receiving. It's about being in right relationship with your own inner feminine nature, knowing when you need to just say yes to something and you just need to let someone give to you. You need to let someone pour into you. I think there's some of us that are also hyper autonomous. We're hyper independent, right? We grew up in survival. We didn't have parents that are very responsible. We didn't have an environment that really catered to, that was like nourishing and comforting and felt safe growing up. And so we develop a hyper masculinity. We develop a hyper independence. So when it comes time to emotionally invest in a relationship, when someone wants to help you out and support you, when someone wants to give you a gift, you're like suspicious about it. You like say no. You're like, "Oh, I don't know about that. What's the catch? What's the catch?" Then it's like we gotta learn to go soft. We gotta learn to be feminine. We gotta learn to receive. We gotta learn to feel safe in relationship and partnership with others, right? We got to learn to kind of like allow ourselves to be in that feminine, that vulnerable energy, right? The moon, Cancer is such a vulnerable sign. It's so vulnerable. It's like it's tender, it's soft. It's like it bears its heart open, and it's like I just want love. I just want to be nurtured. I just want to be cared for it. And I always think of Cancer as like, as Cancer rules over nurses. And, when we're vulnerable, when we're sick and when we're weak, right? And we can't take care of ourselves, like our body, we're going through a sickness, we're in the hospital, right? It's like we're the most vulnerable. That's when we need the most protection. And that's when we have to rely on others many times, right? You can't take care of yourself. Sometimes you're so sick, you're so ill that you need someone else to feed you. You need someone else to bathe you. You need someone else to do things for you, and we got to trust. We got to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And I think about this a lot with like elderly people, because Cancer opposes Capricorn. A lot of elderly people that are so autonomous, they grew up very independent. They have a really hard time getting old and transitioning into getting old because then there's situations where they need their kids or they need others and they just like will not receive the help or they won't ask for it or they become really complicated, hospital patients. They're so used to doing things themselves, you know? So something to consider, okay, with this new moon. How do you receive? How do you keep your heart and your hands open to getting the gifts, getting the blessings, getting support, getting the help that others want to give you, right? What is your relationship with the divine feminine? What has your relationship with your mother been like? What is your relationship with your children like? And if there's woundedness around that, if you have some kind of pain, some kind of anguish, some kind of guilt, some kind of trauma associated with that, this new moon wants to come in and heal that, wants to wash it over, wants to cleanse it, wants to bathe it in the salt water, right? Put it, bring it to the ocean and like just let it go and give yourself an opportunity for a new beginning, for some kind of expansion, for some kind of blessing to come in, right? To kind of heal and renew something associated with that woundedness, because many of us, we have a trauma-based relationship with cancer energy. We don't know how to be vulnerable. We don't know how to receive. We had a terrible family childhood experience, and we need to do some healing around it so that we can be in the right relationship with cancer. Okay. All right. So I'm going to transition now, into talking about who is this new moon great for. Okay. So water signs. If you are a Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer, this is going to be a really good new moon for you. Okay. This new moon is trying to bring love, it's trying to bring partnership, it's trying to bring more optimism, more faith, maybe a vacation, a travel experience. This new moon is trying to bring some healing to your body. Especially if I'm talking about for your rising sign, but this can apply to your sun and moon as well, right? This new moon is trying to bring something really beautiful and really good into your life. If you are a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio rising, and you need to kind of pay attention. You need to really lean into receiving. You need to allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone. I think water signs are some of the most risk averse, and they have the hardest time with being open to new things. Water and earth signs, air and fire signs, they love the experience of new things. But I think the water signs can really struggle sometimes with creating shift or change in their life. Also pay attention to, can the moon in Cancer is about our intuition as well. It's about intuitive downloads that we get, our dreams and things like that. So kind of pay attention to how spirit is maybe activating you intuitively, how spirit is, opening up doors when it comes to, new feelings, new relationships, new emotions, new ways of being. Like there's some kind of blessing, there's some kind of opportunity, there's some lucky experience that this new moon wants to bring into your life. My water sun risings. And you want to be aligned to it, okay? You want to pay attention. And this is also going to be like, this is going to be over the next year because, Jupiter is transiting houses 1, 5, or 9, 1, 5, 9 for water sign risings. And there's like something miraculous, there's something, these are really powerful houses, especially the fifth house and the ninth house. These are some of the best houses in the chart. So, there's some kind of positive shift, some kind of positive change that's going to be coming into your life with this new moon. All right. My water sign rising. It's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio rising. Like I was saying, this could be love. It's gonna be traveling. This could be going back to school, educating yourself, learning. You could be getting a guru, a new teacher, learning something new with that ninth house influence, moving, relocating possibly, or even having some kind of healing experience with your body if you're going through any kind of like illness or any kind of sickness or something. You can find like a solution, or you could just start feeling a lot better in some type of way. Okay. If you're a water sign rising, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer rising. Alrighty, because it's happening in houses 1, 5, 9 for you guys. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Everybody coming in. We got people dipping in and dipping out, dipping in and dipping out. Well, thank you guys for being here. Let's take a look at something really quick. Okay. So, if you are a fire sign rising, Leo, Aries, or Leo, Aries, or Sag rising, this new moon is happening in houses 4, 8. I'm sorry, yeah, 4, 8, and 12. Yeah. So, yeah, Leo rising, it's happening in your 12th house. If you are a Sag rising, it's happening in your 8th house. If you are an Aries rising, it's happening in your 4th house. Yeah. So these houses are vulnerable. They're very sensitive. They have a lot to do with our mental health. They have a lot to do with our fears. They also have a lot to do with debt, um, financial entanglements, things that we owe others. These are very karmic houses as well. They have a lot to do with our home, our ancestry, the past. So this new moon is trying to bring some kind of healing to the mind, to your spiritual health, is trying to help you pay off debts, settle debts, trying to help, you forgive and forget and let things go when it comes to the past, is trying to bring something new when it comes to like foundational experiences. So this could also be for you guys about home or relocation, especially Aries rising. You guys are moving or relocating, or even something good happening with the family. This could also be about purchasing, like purchasing something new. So this new moon could be like, oh, you guys are buying a new car, or you're getting a new roof on, on your house, or you're, buying a, whatchamacallit, you're like getting, things for the kitchen, or you're remodeling your kitchen, or you're remodeling your bathroom, or you're getting a new toilet, or you're getting a new washer dryer, things like this. Okay. This looks like there may be some big expenses that you guys are, there's like, I don't know, you guys may be purchasing something. My water guys. It's so funny that my water guy is coming right. Oh, there he is right there. I'll be right back. Okay. Give me a quick second. I need to, my water guy is delivering my water. What a typical, right? New moon and Cancer things. Give me a quick second. I'll be right back. And we'll continue this. There's the empty ones right there. Yeah. I'm going to Long Beach and I'm going to be going on a cruise. My first cruise, so it's gonna be like a week. Yeah. So. The first one. Yeah. And the second one's over. My blind parent. Oh, really? Yeah. So that kid. Yeah. Ships at all? No, not big ones like this. Yeah, first time. I was stationed on Carl Vinson aircraft there. Oh, wow. So I'm obsessed with yoga. So oh, yeah. Was cool. Wow. Very cool. What's your sign? What's your birthday? Sorry. When's your birthday? What's your sign? August 31st. So I'm you're a Virgo. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, he could be a little bit of a growler. Yeah. Come on, Gilbert. All right, buddy. You have a good one, okay? Yeah. Take care, bud. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's get back to the live. Were you guys tuned into that conversation? I, I ask everyone their birthday. What's your sign? I'm gonna ask you if you work with me, if you come into my environment, okay? If you are a stranger on the street, I will walk up to you and ask you, what is your birthday? And what's your sign if you know it? I was good. Well, he said he was in the okay, he said he was in the Navy. Right? He was on the ocean. He said he loves the ocean. So I was like, it would be so funny if this guy's a Cancer. He literally delivers water. He works with water. Like he's a water boy. Like it would have been hilarious if he was like a Cancer. I guarantee you he has some Cancer in his. He's also born on a 4 day, right? So he was born, he said his birthday was the 31st, I believe. I think did he say 31st? So if you add 3 plus 1, that's 4. So that's a Cancer energy, right? For the fourth sign of the zodiac, the fourth house, right? So yeah, and his parents are go on cruises. That's all Cancer things. So I'm sure he has Cancer in his chart somewhere. So, anyways, let's kind of tap back in. So, you guys are so funny in the chat. I'm sure he has, and this guy can. He can walk with 2 jugs, two of those giant, I don't know how many gallons there are. There are a lot of gallons. Those giant those giant water jugs that you put on like if in like a water machine. Because I that's what I have. Because I go through so much water, I drink so much water. I was like, let me get like a water delivery service. So, but he's able to like pick them up, 2 of them, no problem. He like throws one over his back, over his shoulder, and he's like walking with the other one in one hand, you know? So, my brother is a Virgo. He was in the Navy. It was born on a 4 day and is a Cancer rising. Yeah, like I'm sure this guy's got cancer in his chart, right? The reason why Cancer people go into the army or go into the Navy, or people that have like Cancer rising, or they have like Sun, Moon, and Cancer. The reason why military runs in the family is because the 10th house away from Cancer is Aries, right? So what you get is am I right about? Yeah. In the 10th house from the sign of Cancer is Aries, which are people that work in the military, people that are police officers, people that are authority figures, right? So a lot of people that are have Cancer Sun, Moon, or Rising, they have they have a military background, or they go into the military, or their parents are in the military, in some type of way. So yeah, educational content for you guys. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's keep going. Um, So who was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about Aries, Leo, and Sag rising. Aries, Leo, Sag rising. Uh, you guys have the new moon happening in houses 4, 8, 12. So this is about settling debts. This is about expenditures, buying big things. This is also about your mental health, your spiritual health. This could also be about going through some kind of transformation or change in your life. Because especially if that eighth house is activated, there's something, there's some kind of this could be about grief. This could be about mourning. This could be about loss. But this new moon is giving you like a new perspective on it, which expanding your experience of it in some type of way, in a good way. It's like healing you or nourishing you, or it's helping you like move on from something that hard or difficult that you went through. You know, she said my son was a Cancer rising and his absent dad was in the military. Yeah. That's the Aries in the 10th house. Cancer. Listen, Cancer rising, I think is a tough one when it comes to the father because Cancer rising has Aries in the 10th, and so dad could have an anger problem. Dad could be mean. He could be bossy. Dad could be violent. Dad could be a criminal. Aries in the 10th. Aries is criminal energy. I don't know about y'all. I don't know what astrologers you've been following, but they don't be telling you the truth about these signs, okay? Pisces and Aries, criminals. Well, see, when a woman has a son in Pisces, she either loves her dad and the dad is a saint, or her dad is a menace. Mm. It's like, and you get with Aries too, like Aries too, same thing. It's like dad's either like a sweet, kind guy, and he's like works hard, and he's smart, or he's just a menace. Terrible husband, terrible dad. He's mean, he's violent. Mm. I'm eating papaya. Oh, yeah, 10th house, Leo and Mars. Yeah. Yeah. If you have Mars in your 10th house, your dad. Let me go get a napkin really quick. No, we'll keep going. Talking about the movement. I'm eating some papaya. Gotta work on his gut health. What's up, Gilbo? I'm gonna take him for a walk afterwards. He's had an attitude ever since he got his haircut. Pisces sun here. You love your dad? Oh, love that. Love that. Yeah, depends on the placement of Jupiter. If you're a Pisces and you have a really good Jupiter, your Jupiter's well placed, then your dad's gonna be nice. Or if your sun is in like a really good house, you're gonna have a good dad. And or you have like good stuff in the 10th house. Your dad's gonna be a sweet, kind man, loving, maybe a drunkard, but still nice. Okay, so Uh, Leo, Aries, Sag risings. Yeah, the new moon in houses 4 and 12. These are very karmic houses. These can be some of the most challenging houses. So, if you are a Leo, Aries, or Sag rising, you might want to just sit this one out. This new moon. This could also be, you just kind of needing alone time, or you going on a vacation, like a solitary vacation, or you going visiting a spiritual place or something like this. You're like, oh, I want to go to Bali. I want to go, do a silence retreat, at a monastery or something. I want to become a nun, like some of you fire signs. I think joining the nunnery would be good for you. Okay. I think being a nun will be healing for you. Okay, after all that craziness that you begin getting yourself involved with. Okay. But yeah, houses 4 and 12 can be a little challenging, a little karmic, a little difficult. They can be a little sad. It's about endings and release. So, a new moon in houses 4, 8, and 12 can really be about you honoring and respecting like endings or loss, or you kind of just like really moving on from something that you've gone through that's been very difficult or very hard, and you just kind of like getting into a place of acceptance and closure with it. So if you are like in, because Saturn going through Pisces was not easy for you guys, for the fire sign risings. Saturn was going through houses 4, 8, and 12 for you guys your last 2.5 years. And so this new moon, I think, is going to maybe give you guys some kind of like opportunity or some kind of expansiveness or some kind of fresh perspective, or bring some kind of like healing and renewal to those houses, possibly. Okay. But there could be something lucky. There could be something beautiful or something blessed, depending on your chart, that you do experience around houses 4 and 12, especially if Jupiter is influencing the fourth house, or you have the new moon in the fourth house, because that is where all the goodness, is going to happen or going to be at. Okay. All right. So for earth signs, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus rising. This new moon's activating all your social houses, your communication houses, your relationship houses, the houses of desire, opportunity, friendship, the groups that you participate in. So houses 3, 7, and 11 is activated for this new moon for you guys. These are really good houses, especially the seventh and the 11th. The third house is kind of like a neutral house. But houses 7 and 11 are really, really strong. These are like some of the best houses in the chart. So I think that this new moon is about new friendships, about new relationships, about engaging in your relationships in a new way. Earth sign risings, you understanding that you need friends, or you need to be connected to people that are compassionate, that are loving, that are giving, that know how to reciprocate, that know how to honor what you're feeling, or they know how to like, you know, intuitively pick up on what you need. They're not burdensome or heavy. They are sweet and kind and loving and affectionate. And I think earth signs really need that. You earth sign risings, I think you guys really need affectionate, loving, compassionate relationships. And you guys really, you need your water sign friends. I hate to say it, but you need your water sign friends, my earth sign peoples. You need your water sign relationships, your water sign, siblings, your water sign family members, because they get you. They know how to nourish you, and you provide them stability and structure, and then they provide you, you know, emotional safety and security and things. So, mm, this papaya is so good. So yeah, I think it's important that with houses 3, 7, and 11, that you guys really open yourself up to new relationships and new partnerships and new opportunities or signs. This could also be about new business ventures, like new connections with others. This could also be a very new healing, like a healing energy around relationships in general. So if you've been experiencing like difficulty or hardship with like your friendships, your partnerships, in your marriage, with like a sibling, an aunt, uncle, or cousin, and you're an earth sign rising, this new moon could bring some kind of like closure, some kind of healing, some kind of conversation. You guys can like cry it out, something like this. Or also some kind of expansion and growth. This has a lot to do with business ventures as well, though. This also has a lot to do with alternative ways of making money, side hustles, things like this. Or possibly even not really like a new job, though, not with this particular new moon. I don't feel that for you guys. That'll be more for the air signs, which we'll get to after this. Okay, but yeah, this is more about learning something new. Also, if you want to get back into school, also if you want to like launch a social media platform or start a business, or if you want to start a business venture with someone else, or if you, yeah, something like that, do that with this new moon. Okay, Earth sign risings. I think, it's really not about, this is not about working for others. This is more about like creative expression, business opportunity. It's more like entrepreneur. It's like more of an entrepreneurial new moon for Earth signs. Um, and it's about education and learning and communication. Okay. So I think if you're an Earth sign rising, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn rising, you want to be open to new friendships, new partnerships, go out, have fun, connect with new people, meet new people at this time. I feel like Jupiter is trying to bring in somebody new into your life. This could be a new best friend. This could be a new lover. This could be a new teacher or something like this, or someone that's going to open up a door for you, or a relationship that's going to be very significant to something in the future. Okay, that's going to be a pathway to something in the future. So I think this is a beautiful time for Earth sign risings to go out and socialize and like meet people and like participate in the world, because you never know what kind of luck, what kind of abundance, what kind of opportunity that Jupiter could have for you, that Jupiter and this new moon could have for you. Okay, so all right, air sign risings. If you are a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra rising, this new moon is about money. It's about work. It's about jobs. It's about authority positions. It's about moving up in the world. It's about promotion. It's about getting a pay bump. It's about your routines and your habits and your behaviors as well. Okay. So, because that sixth house activation, it's about your food and your diet. Are you taking care of your body? Are you eating right? Are you being responsible with your money? Are you saving? Like, all these things are going to be very, very important for Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini rising. Like this new moon is about setting new financial foundations, increases in income, maybe shifting your work or your career direction. Maybe it's time for, air sign risings. And maybe this could be also something you're already experiencing, but it's like you're going in a new career direction in some type of way. You got to follow the money, okay? Because like this new moon is like, okay, I got this money for you. I got this abundance for you. I got this work opportunity for you. I got this job for you. I got this promotion for you, but are you willing to like take a risk? Are you willing to like reach for more and be open to something new, you know? So if you are an air sign rising, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra rising, get that money, be responsible, okay? Make sure you're saving and investing in things that really matter to you. Make sure you are, changing your diet if you need to, that you're changing your habits and your behaviors, that you are being willing to work with others. That's crazy. That opportunity was knocking on my door today. Yes. Love that for you, my friend. Um, so yeah, like there's this invitation with houses 2, 6, and 10 being activated to like also for some of you air signs, it's like I got a message around like you're ready. You're ready. You're ready for that promotion. You're ready to like take whatever it is that you've been learning and apply it and like share it with the world. You're ready to like launch that thing. You're ready to like, change positions. You're ready to like get that new job. Like you're ready to like open up the store and start making money and like start selling your products and get the online website together. It's like you're ready. Like just do it. What are you waiting for? Stop being indecisive. Stop like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, stop that. Okay. You are ready. Do it. It's your time. Okay. Like, it is your time to go ahead and reach for more and take the opportunity and take that risk, because something that you do, right, during this new moon, it can become a thing for the next year for you. It could totally pivot something and shift something in your like long-term direction, right? Because it's with okay, this new moon, right? It's aspecting Saturn and Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be moving in Cancer for the next year. Saturn is going to be, he just went into Aries and he's going to be moving for the next 2.5 years in Aries. So whatever comes in or launches or starts, around this new moon in the next 2 weeks, it's like this can be a long-term thing. This can become a long-term venture. This can become a new centerpiece of your life. This can be something foundational in your life that you start building, right? So it's like you gotta listen, you gotta pay attention, you gotta say yes, you gotta take the risk and take the chance, and you gotta allow, Jupiter to like to come in and bring something beautiful and new into your life. You never know. It could be it could be your pathway to greatness. And the only way you're gonna find out is by saying yes, is by trusting and leaning in. But I love it for you guys. I think that Saturn was going through Pisces, like literally there are air sign risings that I know because of Saturn's energy, what he was doing the last 2.5 years, who weren't working for like a year or two, or who got let go from jobs, or who they were struggling with their self-confidence, or they had a sickness or an illness that they were dealing with, or they had a boss that didn't like them and fired them and let them go, or they had a sudden a fall from grace and some they had a relapse. Okay. So this new moon, after years of struggle for my air sign risings, this new moon is like coming in and it's like, okay, it's time for your next chapter. It's time to go back to sobriety. It's time to start making money again. It's time to start servicing the people and healing people. It's time to get that promotion. It's time to, something is coming in, right? Something is coming in with houses 2, 6, and 10. Someone said, but let me ask you. You need a book of reading, my friend. Those are personal questions that require a reading. No, I'm just kidding. But he said, but let me ask you, let's say this opportunity came in, but may not be exactly what you want because they're asking to change the way that you work, but in their eyes it's better. I think we gotta humble ourselves. I think sometimes we think we know. Okay, it really depends, right? Because if there's someone that is like up here and they've like made it and they have the experience and they have the wisdom and they have the vision and they have the resources, right? And we are like down here and we're like new to it and we really don't know, like, sometimes we need to humble ourselves and we need to set aside our ego, set aside our pride, and we need to give ourselves permission to look at things from another person's perspective, right? I'm not going to take advice from someone that hasn't done it, that hasn't walked the path. Like, there's a lot of people that want to give me advice and have an opinion on things, and there's, or in our lives, you're going to see, right? Everyone thinks that they know what's best for you, but look at them. Do they have the experience? Do they have the wisdom? Have they put in the time? Have they mastered something? Have they achieved something? Right? If they haven't even done it, why even listen to them? That's the way I think. I always am like, if I'm when people want to give me advice and give me insight into something, I'm like, I always ask myself, have they achieved it? Have they done it? Do they have the experience to speak on the topic? And is this someone I should really listen to, right? Because if they haven't even done it, if they don't have the experience on it, if they haven't achieved it, then they're just blowing hot air. You know what I mean? I have a North Node in Aries, so I'm here to do it myself. I'm a pioneer. I'm a visionary. I have Saturn, Uranus in the 10th house. In Sagittarius, I have Jupiter trine Saturn. I have Jupiter trine Uranus. I'm a North Node in Aries. Like, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm the visionary. I'm the dreamer. Okay, so it's interesting because like my South Node in Libra is so resistant to advice from others. But there's times where like I have to humble myself because I don't have all the answers. And there's times where I've met people, especially like, there's a few people that, they've been doing this work, whether intuitive work, astrology, whatever, for years, right? And they have a lot more experience under their belt. And they tell me something, and I'm like, ooh, You right. You right. I'm like, ooh, I feel it in my heart. I'm like, ooh, oh, oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to know that. But I needed it, because they're telling me something about myself, or they're revealing something, or they're tapping into something that I know is true, but that I've been in denial about within myself. And they're like, and it's like sometimes we have a hard time being seen, and I got a pretty strong ego. I'm not gonna lie. My ego is pretty strong. I have a ninth house sun conjunct Mercury. I think very highly of myself, and it's not always great. I have Lilith and Leo squaring my sun, so I tend to think very highly of myself, but I also have had to learn on my spiritual path to humble myself, and I've had to learn to be a student, and I've had to learn that, Louis, you're not always right, okay? Like, you need to allow yourself, okay, to be a student. You need to allow yourself to learn and to grow and to understand that you don't know everything, you know? At least, yeah, I'm aware that my ego is strong. Yeah, but I love it though. I love having a strong ego. I love having a strong sense of self, and because it also gives me passion and it gives me conviction, it gives me confidence. We need a strong ego, but it also has to be healthy and balanced, right? It can't be overly, I always think of the ego, right? The ego is connected to the sun in astrology. And you need a sun that is balanced. Your sun can't be too small. It can't be like a little dwarf star, and then people are just walking all over you, and you don't have the confidence to be able to show up and perform when you need to, or be able to, shine and glow and take on authority positions and be in the public eye. You need a strong sun to do those things. But then you don't need an overly expanded sun to where you're burning everyone around you and destroying things around you, and you're so egotistical and you're so selfish that you abuse people in relationships, and that you abuse your children, and then you can't see outside of yourself at the same time, right? The sun has to be balanced uh in a nice balanced space, the sun within us. It can't be too large, but it can't be too small. It needs to be like just the right size. And I always think about that when it comes to like the ego, when it comes to our relationship with our own sun. Most people have a very small sun. Most people, they shrink themselves. They shrink their sun. They compartmentalize it. They constrain it. And this is why they struggle with self-confidence. This is why they struggle with their ability to shine. Whenever, they don't want to take on a leadership position. They don't want to become an entrepreneur. They don't want to, like move up in the world to be seen because the sun is too weak, right? Where other people, and these people, the people with the big sun, with an overinflated sun, we worship these people here in the States, like people like Donald Trump, okay? It's like it's like narcissistic. It's selfish. It's egotistical. It's like I don't care how other people suffer. I don't care how I hurt other people. I don't care what kind of damage I do to other people, right? It's like I'm gonna go ahead and burn everything around me, right? As long as I achieve, as long as I get the attention, as long as I feel successful, as long as right? It's like we see the damage that an overinflated sun, or that an egotistical society does to the people around us or to the world, right? We live in a society that really, really puts too much importance on the sun, and it doesn't really want to develop the moon, or doesn't honor the moon. Because the moon is not about us. The moon is about our family. It's about our children. It's like the sun is us, right? But the moon, new moon in Cancer, oh, our children, our family, our babies, our mom. It's like the things that we care for, the people that we care for. It's like that. It's that receptive energy. It's that feminine energy. It's that nurturing energy. It's like the moon is in relationship to others. The moon, its whole purpose and its whole existence, right, is focused on others in so many ways. And the relationships that we build with others, our family relationships, the relationship with our children, the relationship with women in our life, the relationship with our sisters, the relationship with our mother. You know what I mean? Where the sun is very much like, no, it's just me. It's about what I want. No, it's also about our children and stuff, but the sun it's a masculine energy, right? Or the moon is feminine. It's the primary feminine planet, the moon. But the sun is a primary masculine planet, the luminaries. the life givers, right? The sun, your father, the moon, your mother. And we live in a society that's got too much sun going on. The ego is too strong. We worship the ego. And we need to start praising and start celebrating the moon. And we can even see that in society, in politics. The way women are disrespected, the way that we don't pay mothers, we don't have government systems to support single mothers, the way that the government is trying to take away women's reproductive rights. Look at all the wounded things that we experience with the moon. Look at how much women suffer in our society, right? The babies, moon rules over our babies, right? It's like they're concerned with the child up until the point of birth, and then after the child is born, okay, well, fuck it, you know. Oh, we're pro-life. Oh, we're pro-life. Yeah, you're concerned with the birth of the child, and when the child is born, okay, well, good luck. They don't have a support system. They don't have like a solid foundation. There's not services to be able to nourish them and take care of them that the government supports. They're trying to take away Planned Parenthood. They're trying to take away childhood education. They're like defunding the education system. It's like, come on. You can see how wounded the relationship with the mother is, with the moon is that we have in our society, right? And so I think we have to, in our own ways, we have to focus on the moon. It's a new moon in Cancer. It's like focus on the things that are important to you. Focus on your children. Focus on your families. Focus on your babies. Focus on the things that are most vulnerable that we have to protect, right? Because Cancer is really like, we got to protect it. We got to keep it safe. We got to nourish it. It's like, it's the Cancer is the four walls of our home. The four walls of our home. What does home mean to you? You know what I mean? And how do you need to protect that? How do you need, what do you need to, and what are those boundaries of home? What are those four walls for you? And how is that so meaningful in your life? You know what I mean? New moon in Cancer, you know? So yeah, I love this. I think this is a beautiful new moon. We have Venus also in Taurus, which is wonderful, you know? America has mommy issues, definitely. We got a wounded mother complex, the motherland. And it's interesting because America's a Cancer stellium, right? But America is ruled by the moon in Aquarius. So all of our Cancer stellium in the United States, right? America is a Cancer stellium. They have Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, all in Cancer in the eighth house. And then they have Mars and Gemini in the seventh. Ugh. So it's like, and then Sag rising, but it's all ruled by the moon in Aquarius. It's all ruled by the moon in Aquarius. And the moon in Aquarius, it's ruled by Saturn. It's a disconnect. It's controlling the people, right? Aquarius. And a lot of people don't think about this with Aquarius, right? Aquarius, yes, it's a progressive sign. Yes, it loves egalitarianism, but Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So Aquarius is the masculine side of Saturn. Aquarius is also about control. It's also about force. It's also about like you get these Aquariuses that are very, very egalitarian, right? And they're very open-minded, but there's certain things that they're so stubborn and controlling about, right? And the way that they exert control is with coldness, with disconnect, right? I'm going to control you by rejecting you, by denying you, by like not giving you what you want, by like depriving you of something. That's how Saturn works. That's how Capricorn or the sign of Aquarius work with control, right? I'm gonna not talk to you, right? Aquarius, yeah, Aquarius is definitely isolation, yeah, because it's that Saturn energy, but it's like cold, it's like treating something with coldness as a form of control, right? It's like I'm gonna control you by like it's not like this enforcement and this punishment, but it's like this coldness and this like disconnect and like by cutting someone off, right? And I think about this with like Aquarius people in relationships. It's like when they start feeling out of control in a relationship, when they start feeling like they don't have control in a relationship, Aquarius is going to disconnect. Boop. they're going to go AWOL. They're going to disappear, right? And because they want to regain their power, they're going to want to regain control in the relationship. And for many of times, it's not even about the other person. It's about how they're feeling and their experience in the relationship, right? So, and that's what many times people don't understand about Aquarius. They think Aquarius is like so easygoing and so free flowing, but no, there's certain things with Aquarius where they're gonna have really strong boundaries. They're gonna be really like, no, they're gonna be really firm about certain things, right? And they're gonna, it's a very strong, powerful sign too. Like it's the masculine sign of Aquarius, or the masculine side of Saturn. So, like, and this is why you'll see in like the military and in like the police force and stuff, there's a lot of men with Aquarius placements. Aquarius is an authority figure. Aquarius is a power figure, right? It opposes Leo, which is the king, right? But Aquarius is the fallen king, right? It's the king of the people. It's the king. It's like the democratic king. It's like the king that the people elect. It's like the Democrat. It's like it should be the president, right? It's like the president is elected by the people. That's an Aquarius thing. Where the king, the monarchy, he's like I'm the king because I was divinely chosen, right? Like that's like Leo, right? But it's like it's the same energy. They're mirrors for each other. It's the same energy. You know what I mean? And I always think about this with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a Aquarius sun, Aquarius rising, and he had a 12th house Capricorn moon. That man went through a lot of. You guys should read about Abraham Lincoln. You can look at his chart and read about him. That man, that chart of his. He accomplished a lot with a very, very hard chart. Like he dealt with like three or four siblings that passed away. His mom passed away. Like he dealt with people dying all around him growing up. Like this man, that man went through some things. Okay, but he was an Aquarius rising, an Aquarius sun, and I don't know if you guys know about Abraham Lincoln. He didn't even want to be president. He didn't even want it. He had a weak sun in Aquarius, right? Aquarius rising. He was like, I don't even want to be president. But everyone else chose him. They were like, you're the best person for the job. Come on, honest Abe. It's going to be you. And he was like, oh, fuck it. I guess I'm going to become the president. Like, I guess I'm going to do it. Right. He went and he was elected. Right. So at that time when he was elected, there was like a lot of controversy and the states were going through things because we had the southern states and we had slavery and then we had the northern states and there was like a lot going on and he actually got elected with like kind of like a minority vote. He got the majority of a minority vote though. And he was like it's like a very random, he randomly got elected and he was given this big task of like, okay, buddy, you're gonna have to be the one to unify the states and bring it all together. And then as soon as he got elected, that's when the southern states seceded, right? And it's interesting how we're talking about this because this is like the same timeline that triggered the Civil War, So it's like Abraham Lincoln got elected and the Civil War happened a year later. Or like 6 months later with the southern states succeeding because they knew that he was a democratic president and that he didn't really support slavery. And here we are, right? We got Uranus moving into Gemini, just like during the Civil War when Abraham Lincoln got it. We got Neptune going into Aries. So it's really funny how I started bringing him up. I've been kind of looking at his chart, studying it a little bit because he was the president that was in power when Uranus went into Gemini and when Neptune went into Aries, which is what we're experiencing now, right? So it's kind of like we have another radical. He was like in it for his day. He was radical in some type of way. He was like a radical president, right? And there was a lot of states that were not happy with him because he didn't support slavery. And so that's why they seceded from the Union. And so here we are, you know, here we are, 100 and something years later, and we got a president who just got elected that the states are unhappy with. But it's different now. It's different, but it's the same you know? So I think it's fascinating. I think it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I started talking about Aquarius placements and then here we are. But yeah, so when we're talking about like, Aquarius moon ruling over our Cancer stellium, America is very much about control. It's about kind of like controlling the population and like deprivation and lack. And, it's kind of like we want to subjugate people. We want to keep them isolated. We want to keep them disconnected from each other in some type of way, you know? Yeah, we love Lincoln here. He was president back when the capital was Springfield. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people we have, he wasn't the greatest man, and a lot of his reasons for not liking slavery was not like moral or ethical like people believe. It was actually more like a financial thing. You know? It was actually more about money and labor and what his ideas were about labor and things, you know? Um, that was actually more what it was about, you know, if you read about Lincoln and stuff. But yeah, so okay, let's get back to the new moon in Cancer though. Okay, went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Went off a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, so this new moon in Cancer, 9:30, 10:30. Okay, so we've been live for about an hour and 15 minutes. That's not bad. Um, it's actually happening at a Cancer degree, which is also really interesting. The new moon's happening at a Cancer degree. We have Jupiter at a Gemini degree. Um, So I do think there's going to be certain themes around communication that are going to be very important and connection. I think there's also going to be certain things. We have this new moon, it's also sextiling Virgo, and which is in the third house away. So the sextile that the new moon is making to Mars and Virgo is very important because it's like a direct sextile. They're all at four. Um, I really feel that this is about shifting our habits and our behaviors. Getting back to healthy practices, like shifting our diet. The sun rules the second house away from the new moon if you put the new moon on the rising. And we have Mars in third house away. So there's something around like communication, learning new things, shifting our habits, shifting our diet, taking care of ourselves, something like that. That's gonna be very important this new moon. Um, but let me see if there's anything else that I think that is important. There's that new moon square. Oh, we have Uranus at 29 degrees. So more sudden shocking events. We have Uranus and Venus in the night in the 11th house away from the new moon though. So this is like we're outside, we're having fun, we want to meet new people. We're feeling very energized, we're feeling very excited, we're feeling very opportunistic. We want to kind of break out of our norm in some type of way. Even though the new moon is calling us to like comfort and security and things that are familiar, Jupiter's inviting us to expand and grow. Uranus is at 29 degrees. Like, all right, let's break with Venus approaching Uranus. All right, let's break free. Let's liberate ourselves. Let's be open to something new. Let's put ourselves in spaces that are foreign or that are unknown in some type of way. I think we got to really lean into that with this new moon. So, yeah. But yeah, I'll open this up to questions. I don't want to go on for like 2 hours like I usually do. We talked about the new moon during the Cancer season overview on Saturday. I talked about the new moon on the week ahead forecast on Monday. And here we are again doing part three of the new moon. A little bit more of a detail, but if anybody has any questions, particularly about this new moon, I'll definitely be open to answering them. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to talk about, I'll be here for a little bit longer, maybe for another like 10 minutes or something. I'm gonna wave at everybody here. My, you pulled a psycho emotional, I will pull away. You deserve it. Oh wow, Aquarius things. Yeah, I had an interesting interaction with an Aquarius man. Was it last year or 2023? I don't know, but you're overstepping my boundaries. I'm like, okay, my bad. Sometimes I don't know where boundaries are. I'm a Pisces. You're a Pisces rising, so. Oh my goodness. But anybody have any questions? Anything that they want to talk about? Well, I'm here for a few more minutes. Ask away. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Mercury's about to move into Leo. What about if your new moon is in the 11th house? What's at, you said at 8 degrees and 8 degrees. What do you have at 8 degrees? Is that where your 11th house starts? It's at 8 degrees, or what's at 8 degrees? Make sure I got the 3:31 Pacific time. Make sure I got the new moon. Okay, yeah, new moon chart. No, the new moon's at 4 degrees. But if you have your new moon in the 11th house, this is about friends. It's about goals, achieving desires. There's going to be a focus on the groups that you flow in. Also, income from various sources, opportunities coming in. This could also be about your children or your kids in some type of way because the new moon in the 11th does reflect into the fifth house. So this can be about, yeah, it could be about, goals, dreams, ambitions, your friendships, um, multiple sources of income, having luck or expansion around those things. And yeah, also about kids and children and lovers because it reflects into the fifth house. Yeah, new moon in sixth house. Yeah, it's like health, habits, jobs, work. Yeah, new jobs, new work opportunities. It could be about side hustles. It could be new ways of servicing people. It could also affect your sleep and things like this because it does reflect into the 12th house as well. So you may find it a little bit hard to sleep because there's like a lot of stimulation with that. But yeah, there's some kind of like expansion, some kind of growth, around your sixth house. Is there a general rule on orbs for new full moons? I tend to use like a 5-degree orb on either side of a new moon. So if you have anything that goes up to like 11 degrees or like yeah, or I guess 5 degrees would be like 9 degrees of Cancer or even, up to 29 degrees of Gemini, you'll feel it. But I, because in Vedic astrology, they consider anything that you have in a sign a conjunction. So they don't really use degrees in Vedic Eastern astrology. So if you have a new moon in Cancer in the fifth house, doesn't matter if it's like if you have like a Jupiter in let's say you have like natal sun in Cancer at 24 degrees and the new moon's at 4, they're gonna say that your sun is activated for the new moon because they don't really use degrees, right? If you look at the Vedic Eastern house system, like they actually do it in squares or they do it in like a diamond, and they don't use a chart with like degrees that go from 0 to 29. So I'll say like if you have anything in the sign, it can get activated. You know what I mean? It could get activated. But if you're doing Western astrology, then you're gonna probably look at it within like 5 degrees. But yeah, the sun is very powerful though. Some people use for the sun and the bigger planets like Sun, Jupiter, they'll use 15-degree orbs, from either side of the sun or Jupiter because there's such big planets. They're so powerful, right? Jupiter and the sun are huge. And so the logic is that like if anything is like 5, 10, 15 degrees next to Sun or Jupiter, the energy, they're going to feel it. Those planets are going to feel it, right? Especially like when we're talking about like Sun, Venus, or I'm sorry, Mercury, Venus, because Mercury, Venus could only be so far away from the sun. Even if you have Mercury within 10 degrees or 15 degrees of the sun, there's some astrologers that will say that your Venus or your Mercury are combust, because the sun is so powerful. So you'll still have the malefic effects of the burning rays of the sun hitting Mercury, hitting Venus, because even if they're 10 or 15 degrees out from the sun, you know. Let me go back and see what's got some other people asking. How long will these new jobs come in? I'm a Libra rising. I've been manifesting a new job for months. You're Libra rising. So if you are looking for a new job, right? This is something that oh yeah, you have a new job coming in soon. Okay, Libra rising. You have the new moon in Cancer in your 10th house, and Jupiter rules your 11th house of jobs. So Libra rising, you put Libra on the rising. If you count 6 houses away, which rules jobs, you have Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, and you have a new moon in your 10th house, which is career direction, right? So something should be coming in for you pretty soon. Next few weeks, you should be paying attention, especially when Mercury changes signs in a few days, you might hear something. So something's coming in for you, boo. Libra rising, new job, new work opportunities. But new moons happen for 2 weeks. They're 2 week cycles. Every new moon, full moon is a 2 week thing. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, around 14 days, roughly, give or take. New moon in the fifth house, is that more creativity? Yes, new moon in the fifth house is about, healing your relationship with your daddy, being more confident, feeling more creative, dancing, exploring, getting pregnant, having a child, birthing a business, expand love, romance. The fifth house rules love and romance, so you can meet a new boo. A new boo. You will always be my boo. You can meet a new lover. Having more fun, pleasurable activities, partying, celebration, graduating, going to a baby shower, going to a wedding. Those are all fifth house things. People that have a strong fifth house, they like become wedding planners and they become party planners. They're the ones that like they'll go and like they'll like have a business where they literally are showing up at parties or celebrations, or they're like doing event organizing and event planning. They become wedding photographers, things like that. Um, for me, Sun Jupiter is trining Pluto, and Moon is trining Saturn. How does Pluto affect some kind of transformation or change that's beneficial or good? This can be about, so someone asked, for me, Sun Jupiter is trining Pluto and Moon is trining Saturn. How does Pluto affect the Moon? So this could be about like deep psychological or emotional transformation, or changing or expanding the way that you connect to your family in some type of way, or something with your family transforming and changing in like a harmonious, healthy way, right? Squares or oppositions from Pluto tend to be traumatic and difficult, but trines are the best aspect that we can have with Pluto. And this may be a time where you forgive your spouse, or your spouse or your family, or there's some kind of healing or transformation that happens that's good. Maybe you guys start going to therapy. Maybe there's some kind of trauma that gets released, or maybe there's something that gets revealed, or something that we bring to the surface and that we open up and we talk about emotionally, so that we can let it go and heal it and free ourselves from it, right? Maybe, but that trying to Pluto is inviting you to like be open around what you're feeling and be open around what you're experiencing when it comes to your spouse, when it comes to your family and things like this. And you're like, okay, now it's time for me to like heal that, or let that go, or develop a new perspective on it, or just be vulnerable in some type of way. So it doesn't have to be something that's actually external or material, but it could also be something that's more internal, right? That your psychology, your emotional experience of family, or your fears, you overcome a fear. I think a good Sun Jupiter Pluto trine Pluto aspect, or like transit, is good for overcoming fears and getting to the roots, depths of like your fears and your paranoias, and like just letting that shit go. Someone said, I'm happy about the announcement of the group Flowetry reuniting and performing very soon. Oh, I love that for them. Chiron in Cancer, new moon in Cancer, healing your mother wound and healing your, releasing any kind of fears that you have around creativity, self-expression, stuff like this. For those of you at Chiron in Cancer, especially if this new moon is like happening really close to your Chiron, if you have an early degree Chiron in Cancer, you may have a woundedness around your creativity, around your self-expression, around your childhood, around your past. And this new moon is like, let it go. Forgive your mom for how she wasn't there for you, or how she didn't support you, or let go of the past and really take a look at how the past is still like holding you back from like evolving, and like evolving. Maybe you have a fear, Chiron and Cancer, a fear of becoming a mother, or a fear of starting a family, or a fear of moving in with somebody because of your traumatic experience with your childhood and your own family. And baby, now it's time to let that shit go because it's holding you back. Someone said my hair is looking good. Thank you. I put a little bit of water in it today to give it like the curls. I like this particular curl right here. This one's kind of cute. I'm gonna go swimming today. I've been swimming the last week or so. I've been going swimming every day at the gym. I've been doing my yoga. I've been feeling really good. I've been really tapping in. That Mars and Virgo has been going to work on me. I've been feeling really good. My Jupiter and Chiron are in Cancer with this new moon in the first house. Baby, it's time to heal your relationship with your body, your relationship with yourself, you know? Someone said their new moon is transiting the third house and they just signed up for classes, change your career. Yes, I was talking about that. Well, I was talking about that earlier. I was talking about the new moon in houses 3, 7, and 11 for you guys, for some of you. Earth signs. You must be an earth sign rising, right? You are a Taurus rising, Vanessa. Vanessa is she just revealed herself. Look at her. Taurus rising, new moon in Cancer in the third house. She signed up for a new class to change her career because the third house is education, learning, right? Makes a lot of sense. Alignment. Look at you in alignment. Jupiter and Chiron and Cancer with this new moon in your first house. Second and whole sign. So you got to heal your relationship with your money. You got to heal your relationship with your body and your personality and your character. Like, if you have a new moon in the second house, this is about money and finances. This is about your diet. This is about your self-confidence, your self-worth. It's about how you create value in the world, how you value yourself, right? How you find stability and security, the material, your relationship with the material world, having a newfound perspective, building a new relationship with the material world, right? If you have it in your second house. I think Gemini rising is one of those signs or one of those rising signs, because that's what the new because that Cancer in the second, that can have a really traumatic and emotional relationship with money. I see this with Gemini all the time. Like, oh my God, I want to feel good. So let me go ahead and let me go to the store and buy things. Oh, I'm not feeling that great. So let me go ahead and max my credit cards. Let me go ahead and binge spend. Let me go ahead and, like shop on Amazon and just like buy things that I think are going to make me feel better. There's no amount of material things in this world that you will be able to attain that will make you feel good on the inside if you have a deep woundedness, a deep emotional thing in here. Like you can surround yourself with things, right? But they're not going to really fulfill and bring wholeness or healing to a wound or emptiness or like pain that's inside the heart or that's in the spirit, that's in the body. Like we need to go deeper. So that new moon in the second house for Gemini, it's like you got to really invest in you got to really shift your perspective in your relationship with money if you do have a wounded one. But this could also just be about abundance. It could be about Jupiter rules your 11th. So it's like maybe there's more money coming in. Maybe this is a promotion. Maybe this is a new source of income, something like that. So, but I think the reason why I was bringing up the wounded aspect of it, because you said Chiron in Cancer, right? That it was aspecting your Chiron in Cancer. So, but yeah, Gemini can be one of those signs that got a finicky relationship with money, emotional relationship with money. We go through our Mars return typically every 2 years, roughly. New relationship with men. I think our Mars return, especially if you're a woman, is a beautiful opportunity to shift your relationship with men. Like, I've been thinking a lot about this. I may have talked about this before. I'm not sure, but you guys can remind me if I have. You know, a lot of us like we want oh my I want a man, I want a man, but you hate them. You do not like men. You resent them. You don't trust them. You don't feel safe with them. You do not want to let them be a man. Like you're like, you have a wounded relationship with your father. You had a traumatic experience with an ex-husband. It's like, you're not even giving them a chance. You're over here judging them, making them jump through hoops. Okay. Yet you want to be with one. Make it make sense. Figure it out. Reconcile those differences. Okay. You don't even like them, but you're like, I want to love a man, but you don't even like him. Okay? You don't even know how to like, come on now. Let's work on it, ladies. Let's work on it. Let's work on it. Okay, because you want a man, but you don't even like them. What's going on? How are we gonna make this work? How are we gonna make it work? You know what I mean? Just food for thought. So I think it's a beautiful thing for our Mars return. I think our Mars return is a great opportunity to shift our relationship with men. And if you're a woman, you know what else I think is important? And I would just want you to be open to this, okay? Try befriending a man, okay? Because I feel like, okay, I'm not gonna say this with women. I'm just gonna say this with like divine feminines, right? Because I'm a divine feminine as well. I'm a gay man, and I think many of us like we only want to experience men in a certain way, but then we don't have like any healthy platonic relationships with men. So we don't really know how to interact with them. We don't really know how to talk to them. We don't really know how to understand them or receive them or perceive them outside of this romantic perspective or this perspective that's like sexual or this perspective where we have all this desire, we have all these hopes and dreams and all this, right? It's like it's important that we, you know, explore platonic friendships with men or at least interact with men in like a platonic way so that we can kind of like learn about them and kind of see from their perspective and stuff, you know? Someone said, every time I befriend a man, he falls in love with me. Yeah, listen, me too, my love. Okay, it's happening. This list, I can't even tell you how many times this has happened to me. Every man I attempt friendship with ends up wanting more from me. I know it's complicated. Listen, I know it's complicated, my loves. I know it's hard. It's a complicated one. It's difficult. Men are complicated creatures. I've had this happen to me too. I'm like, I thought we were just friends. I don't even see you that way. And all of a sudden, like, they're like, I want you, you know, or I have these feelings for you. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. So, it's possible though, right? And now he's my ex-husband. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, just food for thought, get to know a man outside of that. It's like they can't help themselves, someone says, right? It's like they can't help themselves. Cancer rising, Cancer Jupiter in the first house. You have natal Jupiter in the first? Are you voluptuous, my love? Are you nice and curvy? You got big hips? You have that hourglass figure? Jupiter in the ascendant. When women got Jupiter in the ascendant, especially if it's in a water sign or earth sign, they tend to be well shaped. They have them childbearing hips. They got them childbearing hips, okay? They're voluptuous, well formed. She said, I do. She's a Cancer rising, and she's got Jupiter in the rising. Because Jupiter and the moon in the rising, especially if it's in a water or earth sign, gives us shape, gives us body. We're full bodied women, you know? That's what Jupiter does. Jupiter rules over things that are nice and well formed, shapely, you know? Where Mars and Saturn makes us skinny and thin, and Jupiter and the moon makes us nice and curvaceous. It gives us some cushion. Someone said Aqua rising, Cancer in the fifth house, Cancer. No, you're having a, if you put it in your chart and whole sign, you're having a sixth house new moon. But if you want to look at it in Placidus, you could do it that as well. But yeah, that's like new things with your children. Children, fun, celebrations, parties, new lovers, new spouses, new moon in the fifth. Sixth house, it's job opportunities, work opportunities, new health routines, things like that. If we have Chiron in the first house, we just look wounded, like depressed or something. It can be an external thing, but it can also be Chiron in the first house can be like a wounded relationship with your identity, with your body, with your personality, with yourself. Sometimes this manifests outward. So sometimes people literally have like a wound around the body. Like, they'll be born like without an arm, or they'll be born deaf or blind, or they'll have, some kind of woundedness with the physical body. actually, or it can be like a personality thing. Like they have like body dysmorphia, or they're bipolar, or they have some kind of mental health issue. Like that's how Chiron manifests in the first. Like they could be depressed or sad, but could also be like, depending on the sign that it's in, it could be anxiety, it could be paranoia, it can be something with the mind, right? Because the first house is also connected to the brain and the mind. So it doesn't, but it could also be around like expression, personality, or character. Like you feel disconnected from your character, or you feel like people don't see you, or people don't celebrate you, or people don't, give you space to express yourself, or you feel like you have to, um, deny some part of yourself, or you feel like you have to, inhibit yourself in some type of way. So there's a lot of different ways that Chiron in the first house expresses itself. I've seen it a lot as body dysmorphia. People having like, with their own personality, their own character, right? They have a really hard time expressing themselves. But the beauty about it is that it's also like it makes people healers. So like when people have Chiron in the first, they're like a healing energy. Like they're very wise. People look up to them, people respect them over time, right? Or they want to become a healer in some type of way. Um, yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that Chiron in the first like manifests. It could be like an external physical thing, it could be a personality thing, it could be a mental thing. Yeah. I don't think it has a lot to do, and yeah, and it also it'll show up in relationships, right? Like, because the first house really activates when we're in one-on-one relationships. So you'll see that Chiron in the first house will also manifest in relationships with others, where you feel like you get the shit end of the stick, or you don't get appreciated, you don't get valued, or some of that woundedness will show up when you're connecting to people in one-on-one relationships, because the first house is activated by the seventh, right? So a lot of people have Chiron in the first. It can be like having Chiron in the seventh. It could be like a wound around relationships or partnerships as well. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right, my loves. It's been great. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. I got readings to get to today. And yeah, I got to take my dog on a walk, and I can't wait for my vacation. I'm tired, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. After like 2 or 3 months of doing reading straight, like 2, 3, 4 months in, I get tired and I'm just like, I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. You know, I'd be involved in people's energy too much, dude. I'd be getting entangled with your guys' energy. And I'm like, I just need to be in my own space. I just need to be in my own energy for a few weeks. I'm going back to California, and I'm going to be going on a cruise for a week, and then I'm going to be spending time with my family. Oh, also, what do want to say, if you are in Los Angeles, okay, I want you to block off these dates. We're doing a meetup. We're doing a Soul Sage meetup in LA. Everyone's invited, and any of my followers, everyone's invited. Okay. Is going to be the weekend of the 12th. Hold on, let me go look at July. The 12th and the 13th. Who checks in on you? No, nobody. Who checks in on me? Nobody. I got to check in on myself. Nobody, baby. But we're doing Nobody. That's one of my favorite songs from the 90s. I love me some Keith Sweat, even though he said something the other day that I had a little problem with. Anyways, we're doing a meetup, the Soul Sage meetup for people in LA, the 12th and the 13th. We're gonna do something really fun. We're either gonna do like I'm gonna see how many people. I may like do like an event thing and just see, because I kind of wanted to do like maybe like a drag thing, but I also want to keep it open. So if there's like 40 or 50 people that show up, I don't want 40 or 50 of us to show up at a drag show and just like take over the space, it'll be too much. But I don't know, we might maybe do like a potluck type of thing, or there may be like an open courtyard type of like food place that will have us all meet up at so that we can like all, hang out with each other and you guys can meet me in person and I can like, do autographs. Do you want me to sign your birth chart? You want me to sign your birth chart? You bring a little copy of your little birth chart, like honestly, you guys make me feel like a celebrity sometimes. You guys really do. Like, you guys make me feel so special. Like, especially when I like do reading, when I'm like on a live. Oh my God, I watch you every day, and I'm so excited for my reading with you. And you guys just like make me feel so special, and I love it. I'm so grateful for it because, I appreciate it. Draw a constellation on your forehead. You want me to draw a constellation on your forehead? Oh my goodness. I love it. You guys are so sweet. But yeah, so it's gonna be the weekend of the 12th and the 13th. I'll give you guys more deets on that this weekend actually. I'm gonna make a decision by Saturday, Sunday what we're gonna be doing. And I'll give you guys like the date and it's either gonna be a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm gonna go look at the transits. I'm gonna go look at the transits of those days and see what would be a better day for us. But yeah, maybe we can do like a hike. All of us, we can go on this beautiful, maybe like a morning hike or an afternoon hike, depending on the weather. And then we can go out to eat afterwards or something. So, okay. Honey, you are our celebrity. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. You guys are so kind. Oh, you guys are so good to me. Oh, you're so good to me. All right. I love you guys, okay? So I'll give you guys more deets. Stay tapped into my stories. I'll probably post it. I'll probably do it as a post on my page as well. And yeah, and I'm excited, to hang out with you guys and meet some of you guys in person. When I was first getting into this, back in, was it 2020 or 2021? I think it was 2020. I ended up having a birthday party in 2020 and I invited like my whole Soul Sage fam to my parents' house in LA and we had like a wonderful time and a lot of you got to meet each other there. But yeah, I'm hoping to recreate that energy because it was such a beautiful day. My grandma made pozole for everybody, and it was just like such a magical day, and we had a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to recreate that vibe and that moment, with this upcoming or 2 weekends from now. So yeah, so the 12th to the 13th, okay? Mark your calendars, especially if you're in LA. Or if you want to fly out to LA and hang out with some people that you've met through my page and stuff like that. We're gonna be doing a little Soul Sage get together, okay? But I love you all so much. Mwah. Have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you guys around. I may live stream it. She said you guys will have an amazing time. So what I might do is I might go live on my Instagram and I'll like live stream me at the Soul Sage Gathering. So for those of you that can't be there, it'll be live streamed. It'll be there. Okay. So maybe I'll live stream it on like YouTube or something. We'll see or just do it on Instagram. Okay. But I love you guys. Mwah. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Make sure you set some time aside to do some intention setting today, to do some journaling, to tell the moon, to tell Jupiter what it is that you want, what it is that you want to manifest into your life, what it is that you want to bring into your life, how you want to expand, how you want to grow, and all those beautiful things. Okay. I love you guys. Take care. Bye. Someone said I'll have my snacks ready. Love you guys. Bye. Happy new moon.